In this lesson, you're going to learn how to do a 3 bounce squash and stretch. You will be using squash and stretch, which is one of the principles of animation, and arcs. Okay, so first thing you want to do is open Adobe Animate and click on Create New. And we're gonna just leave it on the default character animation with a width of 1280 and a height of 720. And I'm just going to go ahead and change the frame rate to 24. And we're going to leave this on action script. And then you may click create. The first thing you want to do is change your stage. I'm going to just put show frame so that I can see all of my stage. And I'm going to change the color. You do not have to use the same colors that I am using. I'm going to use blue as my background, and then I'm going to make my base green so it's kind of like the sky and the grass, but you're welcome to do whichever. Let's go ahead and rename our layer. It's going to be our background. You want to find your rectangle tool. Just move this over. Here it is. And I'm going to draw a rectangle down here for my base. So I'm going to use my selection tool, click on my rectangle to change the fill color. Again, you can use whatever colors. You don't have to use the same ones that I am. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lock my background layer by clicking the lock. And I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to name it ball. And then we want to get our circle tool, oval tool. And we'll hold down shift so that we create a perfect circle. Sorry if that's bothering you. Maybe I should not have used that. And then you want to select, of course, your circle. Click on the fill, and then go ahead and choose one of these gradients. They have black and white one, red, green, or blue. Completely up to you which one you want to use. I'm just going to pick red. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the paint bucket. And I'm going to click up here. If you click up here, you're going to have a bright light here and a shadow here, or if you want the bright light to be over here, but you'll see. So I did that, and you can see how now it looks like the sun is hitting it from this side, and then it has a shadow there. So I'm going to kind of go ahead and bring this circle up here, where it's like halfway in the frame and halfway out of the frame. Okay, so now we're going to come down to our frames and select frame 72. I'm going to hold down my shift key and select so that I can select both of these. I'm going to right click and insert frame, or F5 for the shortcut. Then I'm just going to come in here, right click anywhere in this ball layer, and I'm going to create a motion tween. So right now it says the selected item can't be tweened because we need to convert it to a symbol. And okay, and it's asking if you want to convert it, and yeah, we do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go like every 12 frames. So if we're going to start off on frame 12, and we're going to move our circle down. Okay, and this line should be showing. If it's not, then you probably didn't have the motion tween selected. So now we're going to go on to frame 24. Make sure it says 24 there, and we're going to bring it back up. Now it's 36. Go into 36 and bringing it back down. Now it is 48. Bring it back up again. Now this is up to you. You can make it level, or if you think maybe now it's not going to go up as high, you could bring it down a little bit. Next one is 60. Back down. And then the last one will be your last frame at 72. And we want this to go back up, but not completely in the frame, just a little bit out. That way we can't really see where it's going next. So with that being said, I'm going to go back to frame 60 and just kind of move this one over. You always want to make sure that you come back to where you have that frame, otherwise you're going to kind of mess up your animation. Okay. Next we're going to click on all of these little star diamond shapes, but individually. Make sure it does highlight blue, because if it doesn't, then it's not selected. So we want to right click. We're going to go to insert keyframe and select all. Okay, and you want to do that for each of these little frames that we have. So right click, insert keyframe, all. Click on the next one, right click, insert keyframe, all. And then keep going until you've done that to all of those frames. So nothing physically happens, but it does have to do with what we're doing next. Because if you don't insert the keyframe, that's not going to work right. So we're here at frame 12. What we're going to do is hop back 2 frames, so to 10, and we're going to do the squash and stretch. So to do squash and stretch, we want to use the free transform tool. So we're going to squash it first, and then I'm going to go ahead and rotate it so that it is the direction of our line, just as close as we can. And then I'm going to stretch it a little bit. Okay, so if you kind of go back, you'll see that it goes from this circle shape, and then it's squashing and stretching down, and then it goes back here to a circle. But we want this, since it's hitting the ground, to also squash and stretch. So I'm going to squash it, I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to stretch it a little bit. Okay, now we're going to go 2 frames over, which would be 14. And we're going to do the same thing to this one. So I'm going to squash it, stretch it out, and turn it. Okay, so again, you can play it back. It's going, so that looks fine. This one you're going to leave alone, and then we're going to go down to this next frame, which is at 36. We're going to skip back 2 frames to go to 34, and you're going to repeat those steps. So again, you're going to squash it and stretch it and rotate it. You can come back to this one and kind of see, does it look similar? I think it's a little too long, so I'm going to shorten it just a little bit. Then we'll come to frame 36. Again, squashing. I'm going to bring it down and then stretch it. I'm going to compare it to this one. So now we're going to go up to 38. Again, squash, stretch, and rotate. I'm just going to kind of compare it to that one. Okay. And just keep going. So we're skipping the tops, doing nothing to the tops, going to 60. This will be our last one. We squash and stretch. Squash, rotate. I'm sorry, I completely did the wrong one. So I'm just going to Control Z out of here. Okay, so we're at 60. I'm going to go to 58. I'm going to squash it and stretch it and rotate it. Now I'm going to go to 60 and squash it, bring it down, stretch it, and I'm going to compare it. I'm good with that. And then go up to 262. Gonna squash that, stretch that, and rotate it. Compare it to this one, and I think it's pretty good. Okay, so you can go back to the start and play it. Okay, so it should look similar to this, but we're not finished quite yet. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab our selection tool, and we're going to hover over these lines that you have here, and we're going to drag them. I don't know what happened there. Hopefully yours didn't do that. We're going to drag them so that now we have arcs instead of just straight lines. The ball's not going to really move in a straight line down like that. So you just kind of mess with these and you just make them how you want them. Try not to have like a super pointy arc. I should have probably moved that down a little bit, but too late. Like there's just like so many different things you could do with these. Okay, so now we'll play it again and you can see how it looks more natural that way. And it does move a little bit slow, but once you click on the test movie, it should pick up a little bit. So if you're happy with that, then you're good to save it. If not, you can always go in and tweak anything, but that's all you need to turn in. So what I want to do first is just save the file in case we ever need to go back and edit anything. So to do that, you'll go to File, Save As. So first you want to name it. So I'm going to name this just 3 bounce, because that's what it did. If it's yours, maybe put your name first. Like let's say my name is Andy, so I would put Andy 3 bounce, okay? That way I know whose is whose. I don't get too confused. It should save your name, so you shouldn't have to do that again. And here, when I click Google Drive, you can see that I have my drive. I'm going to go ahead and select that, and I can see all the folders that I already have created. So if you haven't already, maybe make a folder for this class, and then that's where you could put it in. Okay, I'm just going to leave mine for now in my drive because I don't know where I want to put it, and I'm going to click Save. Now what we want to do is we want to export this as a GIF, okay, or a movie file. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to File, Export, and I'm just going to go ahead and select Export Animated GIF. Easy that way. And this does take a while. It's just trying to load all your stuff together and, create the animation. Just be patient. Okay, don't freak out if you're not seeing everything. You can come here to where it says 100% and click Fit on Screen. I must have missed something there, but I'm not going to worry about it. You can preview it. Be patient. Okay, so this is the preview of what it looks like. You don't have to preview it if you don't have the time to do that. You just want to hurry up and get done. That's also fine. I don't know what happened to everything else, but I'm going to click save. And now it's going to ask you, where do you want to save it? Well, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in my drive. So my drive is already open. Um, make sure it does say GIF and click save. And once this window closes, then your file has been saved. Okay. Don't exit out yet. Make sure that your file is there. Okay. So I'm going to go into my Google Drive. And I can already see there's my GIF right here. I'm going to click on it and voila, there it is. And you should be able to attach that to your assignment. I cannot show you that because I don't have student view, but I can definitely help you with that if you're not sure how to do that.